Danny Acosta here for the Wolverse.com. Luke Rockhold, Strikeforce middleweight champion. Coming over the UFC, you're fighting UFC on FX8 versus Vitor Belfort May 18th. What's it like dreaming of being in the UFC and coming to this stage and finally getting here?
What's it like being in the UFC? I mean, it's always been a dream. Of course, I think everybody who fights, I think wants to be in the UFC or dreams of being in the UFC, and it's no different for me. I want to be in there. I want to hold that belt, and I'm excited. Trust me, I'm going to put in the most vicious training camp ever, and I'm going to come out and show people why I'm here and where I'm going to go.
Talk about the difference between when you're first starting out and you're dreaming of being in the UFC and now that it's here.
I mean, when I was first saw it, I probably was a kid with my brother. I mean, we watched the old Hoist, versus Shamrock days, and seen a little on TV, like randomly flicking through it, and got all excited about it. Like, oh, I'm going to do that one day, and forgot about it, got into sports and everything, and then I just kind of fell back into it later in life through, kind of everything escalated from judo to wrestling, and then not having a way in college, not having a clear direction, and finding jiu-jitsu, and then competing and winning, and then making it reality. Like, oh, I'm gonna try fighting, and then it's pretty much been, I couldn't see myself doing anything other than fighting. I love what I'm doing, and I think everything happens for a reason.
There's a lot of talk about Strikeforce guys being hungry and coming over and having a chip on their shoulder and wanting to improve a point. I know that's something that you've dealt with in the past. How do you feel about that going into your UFC debut?
I mean, this is the question that gets asked a lot. How Strikeforce fighters are doing against UFC fighters and how they would, or I think it speaks for itself. I think we're winning the majority of the fights, and it's going to be no different when I fight. I'm going to go out there. I'm going to represent for Strikeforce.
Do you feel that you got the proper respect as a champion coming over into what could be a #1 contender fight against Vitor Belfort?
I'm fighting Vitor Belfort, and I think that speaks for itself. I mean, whether the outside people aren't giving me the respect, I've got the fight. So I'm going to earn my respect in this fight, and hopefully I get that title shot.
You asked for this fight. Why was it a fight that was appealing to you?
Vitor, I believe he's pretty much the #2 guy right now in the division. #2, #3, he's right there. I mean, who can say Weidman or him's better? I mean, you can't really say. But I think those are the top 2 guys beyond Anderson at this point. And Vitor's a huge name, and he's healthy. And he's the only guy available. So I want Vitor, and because I want the best. And Vitor's the best right now available.
He's the biggest name that you fought in your career, and he's the second champion that you would get a chance to beat. What's that mean to mix it up with a guy who has legendary status, and you're doing it in Brazil?
Yeah, I'm excited, fighting a legend. Not only a legend, I'm fighting the top guy in the division, so that's what I'm more worried about. People always say you have to beat a legend to become a legend. I'm just more focused on beating the best guys, and right now Vitor is the best guy. And beat him in Brazil is just a bonus. I like Brazil. It's going to be a fun trip, and I'm going to take advantage of it while I'm out there. After a good win, I think it could be a very fun time.
I was going to say, are you going to surf out there?
I'm not sure if I'll be surfing much. I'm more focused on just enjoying the environment. A lot of my friends, Brazilians and non, say that this part of Brazil is amazing. Very beautiful women, and I'm gonna enjoy myself for a little bit after.
Were you a Vitor Belfort fan when you first started in the sport?
Yeah. I don't know who wasn't. Vitor was exciting as hell. I mean, he came out just explosive and knocked everybody out, and he was hard not to like. So, I mean, I was a fan back in the day, and I'm still a fan. But it's time for me to win this fight.
Chris Weidman is knocking Anderson Silva's door. It seems like that's a fight that might happen. Do you think that he has a chance to beat Anderson Silva? Because it seems like the sentiment is Chris Weidman, Luke Rockhold, those are the 2 guys who are fresh faces who he hasn't had available to him that now may be able to fight Anderson Silva and challenge him.
Yeah, I think Chris is a great opponent to fight. To fight Anderson. I think he poses a lot of threats. I think he's got the wrestling and the jiu-jitsu to compete with him. Not so much in the stand-up game, but I mean, if anything's been shown to beat Anderson, I think Chael laid a blueprint and take him down and out-wrestle him. And I think Chris has better jiu-jitsu than Chael, and I think he's got decent wrestling. He's got good wrestling too, so I think he can put him there, and possibly he could beat him there. So we'll see. But I think it's cool to be considered in there, and who knows? Who knows who I'll be fighting? It sounds like they're fighting, but it is what it is. I'm just gonna focus on what's in front of me.
Do you want to be marketed as an American fighter? You know, it's not something the UFC really does a lot. They don't really go out of their way to, you know, give you an American flag and push you out there as that. Is that a flag that you'd like to carry? Because even like Cain Velasquez, he's American, but he gets the Mexican flag, and there's a lot of the nationalism going on now. Vitor definitely has it in this fight, fighting in Brazil, and he's a hero over there.
Yeah, I mean, of course, I'm an American through and through, and I want to represent for America. I want to bring the belts back, you know, to the American side. So a lot of Brazilians got those belts, and you know, I got one, but I had to give it away. I'm not giving it away, but you know, relinquish that and go for another one. So I'm looking to bring some belts over to America and represent. You know, we don't fly our flags for some reason. Brazil always flies theirs. Obviously, they do that to the bitter end, and you know, Cain is a Mexican American, so you know, I'm just gonna bring another belt back to America. That's my focus.
How do you view your time in Strikeforce? Because you went from Strikeforce Challengers immediately into a title fight. You won that fight, and then everyone was like, "Where'd Luke Rockhold come from?" You know, beating Jacare, and then from there on out, people were like, "Well, Luke Rockhold's not fighting top guys, but those were the only guys that were available to you." How do you view that portion of your career? Did you enjoy that? Did you think that it was very difficult, and you know you didn't have those opportunities available to you? How do you sum up your time in Strikeforce?
I thought it was great for me. Strikeforce Challengers was awesome. It was a way to, you know, put you out there to the public and on TV without being stuck on an undercard, not being seen. So I fought a lot of tough guys on the Challengers, and I blew through them. I got my title shot against Jacare, and you know, I came out and did what I had to do. But I think we get there's other guys in Strikeforce. I can't wait for Jacare and Kennedy to get in there and mix it up, because once they start winning fights, then I'll actually get some respect for my wins, because I believe they can go out there and beat, you know, anybody out there. So I'm excited for those guys to get their fights too. So, you know, make me look good, guys. Come on, please.
Aside from winning in Brazil against Vitor Belfort, what do you want out of your performance? You're very critical of your performances. When you win a fight, you say, "I didn't do this, I didn't do that." What do you want ideally out of your fight?
With Vitor, ideally, I want to be precise. You know, I want to pick him apart on the feet. I want to take my takedowns when I need them, and dominate. I want to finish this fight probably within 3 rounds, and I believe I can do that.
Do you respect his power? How are you approaching his skills as opposed to yours?
I respect his speed, his power, and he's just becoming, you know, he's showing diversity with his kicks. I think he's getting a little wiser these days, and he's picking his spots. He's not just exploding on people, and I'm going to use that to my advantage. I'm going to be wary. I'm going to be respectful. You know, you don't know when Vitor is going to explode, so I plan on keeping my distance, using my range, and just picking him apart. I think I can beat him everywhere in this game. I think I'm a better all-around fighter, and I'm looking to show that. I mean, a lot of my fights have been all kickboxing. You know, this may or may not be, because you know, if it's not going the way I want it on the feet, then I'll take it down and I'll make it the way I want it.
Do you feel like you could be initiating a change in the guard? Vitor's always talking about being the old lion. You have the opportunity to be the young lion here.
Yeah, I'll play my role as a young lion. I'm gonna go in there and I'm gonna win. That's, you know, I got to take out the old lion. Looks like changing the guards, and that's what I plan on making it look like. That's for sure.
Do you feel that this puts you one fight away from the title? Do you feel that this should get you an immediate title shot?
I mean, that's for the fans to decide, but I think the way that I'm gonna fight this fight and the way I'm gonna win, I think it should speak for itself. So just wait and watch. It's gonna be fun. I'm feeling good, and I'm only gonna feel better.